Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. Today we're doing the Duality Evolution Cup. I recorded the Legendary Cup, but then I realized I made a bunch of mistakes, so I'm not uploading that. However, we're going to talk a little bit about that cup as well. Basically, the Golden Legend Cup can be beaten with the Spyker with basically one stage 6 and the Evantra with none. Now, you may actually be able to get away with the Spyker and the Evantra with no stage 6s for that, but certain challenges will be a little difficult for the Spyker, not for the Evantra. The Evantra is missing a few epic fusions and was still able to get through at stage 5 only. So Legendary Golden Cup isn't that terrible. In fact, it's one of the easier ones I've seen overall. That also could mean well for the Evolution Cup not being super bad. So here, again, starting off with the C8, what I already did is I installed 5 of the 7 stage 6s. I have this car at this point full fusion, fully maxed. Why did I do it? I really don't know. Spent a bunch of bronze keys. Once I started, I just finished it. But unlike the Spyker, which I'm pretty lucky on crates, the Evantra, I'm still missing a few epic fusions. It shouldn't hurt the Evantra much though. That car is way quicker than this one. In fact, this car with 5 stage 6s runs 7.9. That other car with 0 stage 6s already run 8.7. So there's a big difference between these two. They both beat Dino by a little bit. And shift pattern does come into play, although I can't remember exactly what's a good shift pattern for either car. So I'm just going to wing it. Because I have enough upgrades, I think I won't have a problem. If I do get stuck, I'll go look up the shift pattern at that point. I remember something along the lines of C8, Spyker, 3rd gear nitrous, and then the Evantra is kind of 2nd gear nitrous, but you let 1st gear not run all the way, maybe 40 miles per hour, 37 miles per hour. Then you shift into 2nd and nitrous, seems to work good. Both cars, again, do pretty well by beating Dino a little bit, and therefore shouldn't be super difficult. Now, I'm going to show you the Spyker stage 6s first, so you can see exactly what I'm running. So basically, I'm not running the 2 worst ones, which is tire and intake. Everything else seems to work pretty good. Now, body, tire here is really bad, but body and nitrous are 2 of the stronger ones, and transmission seems pretty okay. I think transmission, engine, and turbo are about on par with each other, somewhere around 2/10 or so each. So you want the best stage 6s always for Evolution Cup. If you have them, life's going to be a lot easier. Okay, let's go ahead and try this out. So again, everything up to race 3 shows us very easy. This will escalate once you get past the race 6. Now, if you have no stage 6s, or very few, I can tell you you're already going to be seeing extreme at this point. It doesn't really take much for Evolution Cup to get really difficult really fast. 281 mile per hour. This speed trap is not super easy, but not that difficult either for this car. It seems to do well. Now, let's see what I ran there. 295. So it should be able to do better than that. Maybe I need to play with the nitrous some more, but at least we know first speed trap's 281 already. That's not an easy speed trap. The second one's this one's 281, but the second one's likely going to be well over that 290 range. All right, let's take a look here. Time-wise, we're still okay. Nothing here should be trashing me time-wise, which means relatively easy wins. All right, a little bit better run that time, 7.962. But still, I'm in the 7.9 whatever range. And the dyno on the car, again, is 8.07. So this is not beating dyno by that much, maybe a tenth, okay, which both cars seems to be able to do. Okay, here we go, another run. Now, something I know the first gear you're supposed to let it go a little, second gear, third nitrous. Anyway, it's not the optimal shift pattern, so don't follow my shift pattern necessarily unless Of course, your car is built like mine, in which case, you know, it seems okay. Difficulty rating just jumped. If you notice, it went from blue all of a sudden to orange. This is typical of Evolution Cup. It does escalate. Speed trap. 294. Okay, let's try. So with this car, understand I'm not retuning. So let's try late nitrous first. Okay, so we're going to shift in. We'll hit nitrous in fifth. And we ran out of track. All right, so that didn't work. It looks like maybe it's better to just stick with the third gear nitrous, which actually probably will do better because we did 295 before. So this shouldn't be that hard. This is 294. Okay, now I'm going to drive the car with third gear nitrous. Here we go. And just drive it like normal. Easy win. And the speed trap is almost 299. Oh no, it is over 299. So it's 299 mile per hour, almost 300. Much better. Okay, so that was the second speed trap. On with the show. 7 out of 20. I don't expect the times to be that difficult yet. We probably won't need to upgrade this C8 any further because missing only 2 of the worst stage 6 is pretty close to the time that the car would run fully maxed. So unless this is a super hard cup, I just don't see that being an issue. Okay, so another win. 8 out of 20 coming up. So opponents are only running 8.3. Now, that 8.3 is already faster than what the Evantra can run on stage 5 only. So we know the Evantra is going to need some upgrades when it gets added to this event. Put in for the actual runs. Right now we're running nothing but the C8. Spyker C8 at the moment. Okay. Pretty steady opponents at this point. Let's see what this one ran. 8.2. Woo, that's a little faster. If they keep up at this, I can see why the next one would be extreme. It wouldn't be extreme for the Spyker unless it's running 7s, but I have a feeling it may be because we're getting into the Evantra instead. No, it's a sprint. I don't see how the sprint could be an issue. Maybe this car sprints better than its dyno. Because it sprints pretty good. I wouldn't think it would be extreme. Let's see. Okay, so that one I think I won. I did. Perfect. As you can see, the sprint is pretty fast. 1.454. I did a 1.371. The reason it's showing extreme is probably because on the dyno, it's showing something like a 1.4 something, which will be exactly extreme with the car. Okay, so now we have a extreme relay. That's again because the second car in the relay series here is not fully maxed. In fact, it's only at stage 5 and it's missing some epic fusions. Now, okay, so stage 5 only, you can tell. Before we go though, I want to show you something. I'm going to have to move the screen in order to show it to you because you can't really see my extreme bar on the bottom. But this is worth a discussion, so I'm going to show it. Let me drag the bar up. Here we go. All right, so when you have an extreme race, on relay particularly, and you see there's a little gap, okay, on the right bottom corner there. You can see it when it flashes. It'll show you that there's a little gap. So bottom line is you don't have full 4 bars of extreme. And when you don't have that, then the car itself can still beat this event. If anything, this is almost like a very hard rather than extreme. So I expect to beat this race with a little bit of a gap without much of an issue. All right, let's see how this goes. Once it loads, here we go. Loading's always an issue with the update. If you update early, expect on some devices loading will be slower. Okay, so I'm not actually too worried about the shifting here. That was a pretty good lead, which means the extreme part will become less extreme slightly, and therefore my chances improve of being able to get this done. Okay, here we go. Right? So the Evantra, again, is pretty fast at stage 5 only. It should be fast enough to easily accomplish this race without much of a problem. As you can see, the lead is pretty big. That car is catching up a little bit, but still at the end, nice big gap. No issue at all. But knowing it's already extreme at this point in the event, I know I'm going to have to put stage 6s in on the Evantra to have a chance of moving all the way to race 20. So little money reward there, moving right on. Race 11. Let's see how this one goes. Okay, extreme. So assuming this is using the Evantra, this is why it's extreme, but of course, you know, I can't tell because I got a mystery spinning going on and they don't want to tell me which car is supposed to be the one going. How nice. Alright, well, let's go ahead and race it and take a chance. But I'm almost putting my money on the Evantra for sure because it only makes sense that it has extreme because it doesn't have stage 6s versus the C8 Spyker, which has plenty of the Spyker C8, which has plenty of stage 6s installed. And I'm correct, of course, but you know, let's see how fast this opponent goes. Do I even have a chance? Yeah, that is actual extreme, meaning you're not even close to the time, so there's no chance of you actually finishing and beating that opponent. 8.417. I did 8.76, and that's about the best I'm going to do. Maybe 8.75, 73 if I'm really good, or 6.9 even. But the reality is I'm not going to get 8.4, therefore it's time to upgrade. So this car, knowing what I know about stage 6s, I'm going to put in some of the top ones, which generally includes stuff like transmission. You want to watch, anytime you install a stage 6 infusions, you want to watch the jump in points. Now, this isn't that big, so transmission, while it's nice, probably isn't a big one. Not like body would be, because if you look at the difference here in point jump, the body's definitely more. Nitrous, again, would be nice, but it's, again, not a huge jump. But then, by this point, tuning's going to be necessary because you're putting in multiple stage 6s. Finally, let's just throw in tires, see if it does anything. These are the, not necessarily, quote, the top 4, but definitely top 1 or 2 and maybe another 2 decent ones. But I would almost guarantee that turbo and intake's going to do less than most of the others, unless tire is really bad like it is with the Spyker. Okay, so let's see. All right, so some more jump, and we just went from a 8.8, 8.9 dyno all the way down to 7.4, because this car beats dyno by about a tenth. So that means I should be able to run something in the 7.3s with it if I do everything correctly. That's way faster than the Spyker at this point. And therefore, yet again, being the faster car, it should make life a lot easier. I'm going to add some gas now just to make sure that we don't have any issues with running out of gas during the rest of the event. And let's go ahead and put this car up and see what it actually runs. Here we go. So Evantra, earlier it didn't want to show me. It's probably some kind of glitch. Now it shows me that it is the car for this race. We will go ahead and take down that McLaren for the win this time. Oh, it changed. It changed to a Gamera. So each time you go in and out, it changes the car. Unless it was a Gamera last time, I just didn't pay attention. I could swear it was a McLaren. I could have sworn. Okay, 7.383. Not as much dyno beating as I had hoped, but oh no, not even beating dyno. That's sad. Okay, need to tweak my driving a little bit here, but again, it beat the opponent no problem, and that opponent I think is a little bit slower too. All right, 7. I mean, no, it's not slower. I'm just so much faster that I'm forgetting I was running 8.7s. Okay, here we go. This one should be Easy. Again, pulling away hard against the opponent because I am running 7.3 something and the opponent did 8.0, I think. 8.3. So consistent right now in the 8.4, 8.3 range. No major jumps yet. So the race isn't escalating. It will. It's just a matter of finding the escalation race later in the event. But right now, 8.3 is what I'm seeing. Right, here's another nice McLaren. That, I believe, is the new one, the 765, that we'll be getting as part of a event soon. And 8.195, so it's Max. I beat Max. Max defeats Max. Okay. 200 gold. These gold rewards are nice to have. I actually kind of like them. This is how you end up with tens of thousands of gold. If you're doing events, you're actually getting through them, and you're not using gold to get through them, you will gather up more gold. Versus, say, relying completely on the daily task gold on the sidebar. That's 35 here, 35 there. Saving up thousands is still possible, but it's a lot harder. There's also those map races every season, 2 of them for gold. Don't skip them if you want to keep your gold flowing. So those are little tips to keep that gold up. But these events actually give a lot of gold. Sure, the cost ultimately is a wash. You might be spending other resources or spending money just to get through these events, and in that case, you're essentially buying gold. So, and it's not that much gold, right? But still, if you're able to finish events, you're able to kind of save up. Same thing with keys. These usually reward you a decent amount of bronze and silver keys, although not much in way of gold keys. Okay, so I just wish the Evantra was more colorful. You know, the version I got was more colorful. I mean, it's apparently a pretty nice car. It's very fast at stage 5, which is very good. It bodes well for possible live uses in the future. And that's another video we'll be investigating as we go. Now, I seem to have gotten the timing down a little better on that first shift. I have now dropped to 7.338 on a 7.4 dyno. 4 and change. So it's definitely beating dyno now by approximately a tenth. It's not a bad thing, but it's really not enough. I mean, you know, cars, there are other cars that can beat dyno by like 0.2, 0.3 naturally, which is probably some of the most effective live racers, assuming you control it and don't bump it too quick. All right, we'll investigate this car because I think it has potential. One of my crewmates at least have shown me a possible lower upgrade high evo tune already, although the matchmaking and full effects won't come into play until more players upgrade, and I can test this in live. Okay, so again, this card, second gear nitrous seems to work best versus the Spyker C8 Preliator, which seems to like third gear nitrous better. But both cars beat dyno a little bit. Both cars will beat dyno. 500 bronze keys, not even enough to pull one crate, at least not for a tier 5 crate. You can spend 25,000 bronze keys just like that to get fusions for these cars, but getting them all back takes a bit of work. Live racing, once again, this is why I'm always looking for live racing cars. Okay, whether it's this car or any other car, mainly because one, I want some options other than the same car all the time, but two, live racing ultimately gives you some of the best rewards when it comes to keys, bronze and silver keys. Ignoring live racing really is a mistake. If you only do showdown and never do live racing, you're missing out on probably 900, no, maybe not 900, 600 plus 700 bronze keys a day almost, unless my math is way off. I just remember there's 30, 150, no, maybe not that many, probably 400 bronze keys at least a day, 20 silver keys at least a day. So if you're talking about 400 in each season, you're talking about 4,000 bronze keys. That's a lot of bronze keys, okay? If you want to save up 30, 40,000 bronze keys within a reasonable amount of seasons, plus any bronze keys you get elsewhere to add to that total, that's what you have to do. You have to do those 30 live wins a day. That's very important to do. And I think with all the showdown being around, it's driven people away from live, and ultimately, if you're building an account, I think that's a mistake. Duality cups, again, we're finally at what looks like a gold key race, and it's a relay. So it kicked me back out. Oh, how about that? We're on race 20 already while I'm busy yapping away. I didn't even pay attention because we haven't had really a super difficult challenge since I upgraded with those 4 stage 6s. And this one's only challenging, which means it's not challenging. Anytime it's challenging, it just means it's easy. So I'm probably at an overkill level for upgrades to make it through. You probably can do it with 4 stage 6s, 3 stage 6s maybe for the Evantra, and 4 stage 6s for the Spyker C8, and still make it this far with maybe extreme or hard. But you may be stuck more so in one of the earlier challenges, for example, a speed trap or something. But this one won't be a problem. So I'm definitely finishing this cup now. Again, the Evantra is missing a few engine epics as well. So not even close to fully upgraded. So ultimately, this entire event is on the easier side. It really isn't that bad. Okay. Final race of the event. Off we go. Nitrous second. And I have such a lead, it's not even a contest. Okay, so both cars ran about 5 seconds in the quarter mile, so they're both pretty decently quick in the quarter mile. And that means that both cars accelerate relatively quick, has decent top speed, and, you know, not easy to build either one of these, but if you can finally get the fusions, they're both decently quick. Not great, just quick enough to make sure you can get through Tempest 3. Now, if you have the Evantra built at stage 5 with enough fusions, I think it'll easily destroy Tempest 2 and 3 without stage 6s. Just keep that in mind. Okay, and here we are, the Spyker C8 Preliator, if that's how it's pronounced, Preliator Spyder. Okay, interesting looking car. Not something I'm really falling heads and heels over for. Aubergine, I have no idea what color that is. It looks like prune color to me. So this is my new prune colored car. And, you know, not to knock the color that much, but, you know, a lot of times I see old people ordering this color. So I'm not sure why such a special car would necessarily come only in prune, with that brown interior no less. In any case, another Purple Star car added to the garage that I won't be building until it's needed for some event or another. Let me know what your experience is so far with this cup. If you're stuck anywhere, I'm happy to try to help solve the issue for you. But understand that Evolution Cup requires a certain level of upgrades to make it through. If you have other comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. If you like the video, please leave a like. Let me know it's well liked. If you don't like it, okay. Leave a dislike if you really have to. But subscribe in any case so you can get notifications. This way you can rush to my video and leave a like or dislike, whatever your thing is. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.